You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WISS Daily News Roundup for Oshkosh Air Support, 98.3 FM and 1100 AM.
For 98.3 and 96.5 WISS News, I'm Lisa Hale. The chance for strong to severe thunderstorms heads our way today. Meteorologist Brittany Merlot tells us what to look out for.
Wisconsin is in a bullseye risk for severe thunderstorms today. Hazards of hail, high winds, and even tornadoes target the state. The Storm Prediction Center has issued an enhanced risk for severe weather, starting midday west and working its way central through the afternoon. It'll arrive in eastern areas by Lake Michigan in the early evening. Take the time now to figure out where you would take shelter if you find yourself in a tornado warning or in a storm with large hail, because with the timing of this, you may be at work or already home or maybe on the road. And these storms will bring the needed rain, around a half an inch to nearly an inch as possible. This will lessen the wildfire risk in the area. More rain is expected Friday too before we dry out and cool down for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
Just one day after a grand jury indicted her, Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan's attorneys asked for federal charges of helping an undocumented immigrant evade federal immigration officials to be dropped. The attorneys say Dugan is entitled to judicial immunity for her official acts. Dugan makes her next court appearance today. Tickets for truancy haven't been issued in the city of Appleton since 2019, and while the school district doesn't want to see punitive measures, it is seeing rising numbers of students missing school to the point of not being on track to graduate. The Appleton area school district says in 23-24, almost 24% of its students missed 10% or more of the school year. The city voted this week to delay any enforcement of fines for truancy in the school district for now. Appleton is the largest district in the state without truancy tickets. Fewer communities are participating in No Mow May, a campaign started to provide ample food for pollinators emerging from hibernation. Green Bay, Oshkosh, and Appleton, the Wisconsin city that started it all, have backed away from allowing residents to avoid mowing in the month of May. Instead, they recommend planting native, natural landscaping and minimizing chemical use. In Green Bay, the city is collaborating with the Sustainability Commission to develop pollinator-friendly practices. Swarming in clouds, getting in cars, flying in your mouth while you're walking or gardening. Lake flies are back. Every year around this time, lake flies return. Lake flies are vital to the ecology of the Lake Winnebago system, providing food for birds and fish like sturgeon. Lake flies may be stinky, noisy, and annoying, but they only live for a few days as they mate, lay their eggs, and start a whole new life cycle. The Fox-Wolf Watershed Alliance says lake flies are really several species of midges that do not have functional mouth parts, so they can't bite or even eat. The Wisconsin State Assembly has passed legislation to protect affordable health care options in Wisconsin. Melissa Kay has more.
This bipartisan bill passed with Representative Scott Krug stating the legislation protects direct primary care and ensures access to this cost-saving healthcare option for people in Wisconsin. Direct primary care allows people to receive healthcare on a subscription or direct payment basis with their provider. Representative Vincent Moresi applauded the bipartisan effort, even though he voted against Assembly Bill 8. He said he didn't support the bipartisan bill because Republicans removed non-discrimination language from the bill. He said without those protections, people could be denied care based on their gender identity or immigration status.
There's a bill in front of state lawmakers that would allow women to get birth control prescriptions from a pharmacist, not a doctor. Joanne Krulatz has more.
The state assembly approves a bipartisan bill allowing pharmacists in Wisconsin to prescribe and dispense birth control to those 18 years or older. The bill's author, Republican Representative Joel Kitchens of Sturgeon Bay, said nearly half of the pregnancies in Wisconsin are unplanned each year, and the highest rate is among women in poverty. More than 2/3 of unplanned deliveries are paid for by Medicaid. The bill applies to oral hormonal contraceptives and patches. It passed on an 87-10 vote Tuesday, but whether it can pass in the Senate is another matter. Kitchens noted similar legislation has the Assembly 3 times previously, without gaining a Senate vote.
The Wisconsin Department of Transportation Division of Motor Vehicles is reminding residents to verify the mileage of a vehicle that they're planning to purchase. According to a press release, the DMV identified nearly 6,000 vehicles that showed signs of odometer rollbacks in 2024 for an estimated total of nearly 614,000 miles. That mark is over 3 times as high as the over 1,700 odometer rollbacks discovered in 2023. The DMV is also reminding drivers that their website contains resources to verify a car's mileage. I'm Lisa Hale for 98.3 and 96.5 WISS News. For news anytime, visit WISS.FM.
The Brewers beat Cleveland. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Brewers able to avoid the sweep by beating the Guardians 9-5 yesterday. Logan Henderson became only the second player in team history to score wins in both his first 2 starts in the major leagues. But Henderson says his arsenal of pitches is still a work in progress.
I know the cutter and slider have a lot of work to do, which is definitely a big confidence boost. I've had 2 solid outings so far. I got to go out there and keep executing and do what I know I can do, just fastball at the top and throw the changeup off of that.
The Brewers host the Twins tomorrow night. NFL, the Packers holding off-season workouts, but center Elton Jenkins has not reported until he gets a new contract. Luke Butkus is the offensive line coach.
Elton Jenkins and I came in together in 2019, so he's a great man. He's a great teammate. There's no concern whatsoever.
The Packers' regular season schedule is out. You can download it now at civicmedia.us. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. It seems like Hollywood is on hold when it comes to releasing movies, at least until Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning opens next Friday, the 23rd. In the meantime, there is no shortage of horror films in theaters, and a new one opens this weekend. Final Destination: Bloodlines is the 6th and supposedly final installment of the Final Destination franchise and is batting a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Mystery thriller Hurry Up Tomorrow tells the story of a musician who has insomnia and begins to question his life. There are no reviews, so tread cautiously, but the film has a solid cast with Jenna Ortega, Barry Keoghan, and The Weeknd. Another mystery thriller that also hasn't been reviewed yet, called The Ruse, opens wide this weekend. An in-home caregiver fears for her life while watching over an elderly patient in a seaside house. Just a reminder that Sinners and Thunderbolts are still playing in theaters and have also reviewed very well. Let's go to the movies. Tom Cruise is used to saving the day in the movies, and it spilled over into real life. Simon Pegg says the Mission Impossible franchise saved him from alcoholism and depression. Yes, he was thrilled about getting the role, but says the production was unbelievably supportive and made sure he had a sober companion on the set of Ghost Protocol in 2011. Pegg also recalls Tom Cruise saying, "You're going to get in shape for this film. You're an agent now." Halle Berry was forced into a wardrobe change before she hit the red carpet at the Cannes Film Festival. The festival has a new no-nudity policy, which only took them about 75 years to enact. Berry is in France as part of the festival's jury this year. She didn't seem to mind at all being told to find a different dress and believes the new nudity policy is probably a good one. And it probably is, especially because most people don't look like Halle Berry. Various sources say the policy was enacted to avoid a situation like Kanye West's wife appearing fully nude on the red carpet. Well, it didn't set the world on fire, but for those who enjoyed it, Captain America: Brave New World will be available to stream on Disney+. The film stars Anthony Mackie, who also appeared in The Falcon and Winter Soldier. In the film, Captain America meets with the president, played by Harrison Ford, and is asked to foil an evil global plot to save the world. Tough gig. It drops exclusively on Disney+, May 28th. A Greek couple is getting divorced thanks to AI and a cup of coffee. A woman has filed for divorce after reading the ChatGPT signs she believes told her husband was cheating. After making coffee for her and her husband, she took photos and asked ChatGPT to interpret the coffee grounds. The chatbot not only told her there were signs of infidelity, but also that her husband was fantasizing about a woman whose name starts with an E. The husband told the Greek City Times that this has happened before when his wife was following an astrologer's advice. And some people think AI is a bad thing. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
We are tracking a system that could bring severe storms to the area late this afternoon into early this evening. Hail, wind, even a tornado or two will be possible, so be weather aware later today. Otherwise, sunshine, breezy, near 80 today. Tomorrow, scattered thunderstorms and windy with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Current temp 62.
That's your WISS Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WISS.FM. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.